inviting me to even be a part of this opportunity. I wish you all the best because I know you're all gonna win. All winners, ain't that how we say it? Okay. But basically, when we think about our businesses and think about the survival of the business, it just kind of brings me back to when me and my husband started our business back many years ago. As a matter of fact, it was like in the 80s. Well, 85, actually. It was a long time. Some of you weren't even born.
I wasn't.
Some of you weren't even born during that time. But back in that, but basically, in the beginning, my husband and I had no prior experience or anything that would warrant any kind of success from us. My husband had just got laid off from his job, General Motors. I had just gotten laid off or fired from my job, basically because I was 9 months pregnant and they told me I couldn't get a leave of absence, so I had no job. So we resorted to welfare. Anybody ever had anything like that going on in your life? Okay. So we resorted to that, and I can remember saying to my husband after the experience that if we ever had an opportunity to get on our feet, we're going to open our own business. And I'm going to tell you, we were waiting, and if you know how General Motors was, you was on 1 month and off the next year and back on. Well, he got his job back. And thank God he got his job back. We decided to go out and look for a business. We wanted to open up beauty salons. That was my idea. I said, if we open up beauty salons, we can have them all over the place. So we went and asked the family. How many of you guys have ever asked your family to be in business with you? Yeah. Okay, so we went and asked our family, hey, listen, how about if we start a business together? Well, what they said was, I said, we're going to open up beauty salons, and they're going to stay open 24 hours a day, and we're going to do this and that. And they said, well, I'll tell you what. You go find out what needs to happen. You do all the figuring out, and then just come back and let us know. And to tell you the truth, me and my husband was like, well, if we're going to do all the work, we might as well do the business ourselves. So to tell you the truth, I thought, wow. I go into this building. This lady is renting her building, and the lady says, baby, you need to open up no, we want to open a salon. She says, baby, you need to open up a school, a beauty school. And I'm thinking, a beauty school? Now, this is the lady that owned the business. And I'm thinking, I just came out of working in the kitchen. Okay? And I'm saying working in the kitchen, passing trays. So if you've ever been in the hospital, you know what it's like. When you get a tray, I was the tray girl. So, and I had went to school for beauty, so I mean, basically I was doing hair. She says, Anna, you can do this. Now, I didn't know this lady from anywhere, but I call her my angel even today. And she says, I'm telling you, it's not as hard as you think. Now, my grade point average was never high. I was the student in school that would never raise my hand. I would never stand in front of anybody and say anything. Anybody like that? Not people here. But I'm saying basically I would never, because I was always afraid that I would say the wrong thing. Or somebody else would think that was a stupid question. Or why didn't they answer that question? But anyway, when this lady told me that we should open a school, my thought was, I'm going to go tell Preston. So I go home to tell my husband. I said, Preston, I met this lady today, and she said we should open up a school. He's like, oh, here you go again. First you said we should open up a salon. Then you said we should. He says, Anna, we don't have any money. And I'm thinking, I know, but, you know, I mean, we had just had $2,000 that we had gotten from, I think it was either our income tax or it was from the insurance. Anyway, we had $2,000. And he says, well, how much is it going to cost? You know, we don't have any money. How are you going to do it? I said, well, she said we can do this. I believed her because she believed me. You know, that's why I always say borrow somebody else's belief that you can do something. Wow. So this lady says, I'm telling you, baby, you can do it. So she wanted $700 for the rent. She wanted a $700 deposit. And she wanted a security deposit. So that was almost all our money. So my husband was like, you know, well, so what are we going to do? So I'm working in the salon. He's working in the plant. My husband gave me his check. Well, long story short, he said, we can do it. My husband gave me his check every week, and I would give him $2 out of that to go spend with his buddies. And I would take his check and what little extra money I made and pay the bills. Now everything went in the shut off. Everything was always pink letter. And it had gotten to the point where we had to start asking people for help. We had to go ask family, and we had to, come back and say, they're getting ready to cut off my lights. Can you please help me? They're getting ready to put a foreclosure sticker on my home. Can you help me? And I can remember one of my family members said, close that school. You need to close that school. You're putting that money, my husband said we're putting our money in the bottomless pit because we constantly putting money out and wasn't getting nothing in. I went to the SBA to try to get a loan. And when I went there, they said, after the guy looked at what I had, he said, do you have a business plan? And I thought, well, no. He says, well, did you bring anything to show me what you... I was like, well, he says, okay, that's okay. Just tell me how much do you make? At that time, I think I made like $600 for that month. And I was showing him how, we were going to do something because we had 2 students. One of them dropped out because she said we weren't making enough money. So as we were growing, we had like maybe 3 or 4 students. So I had like $500 a month. So the man told me, he says, honey, you need to close the school. He says, because you'll be out of business in 6 months to a year. And I thought, but I know I can do this. And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't hear this. And I couldn't go back and tell my husband this. And I'm thinking, and I'm in tears walking out of there because I'm thinking, I never knew how to do a business plan. I don't know anything about that. What are we going to do? So we just continued. And I'm going to tell you, continuing with the faith of God and just knowing that you don't have to add up anything. You don't have to figure anything out. Let him handle it for you. And I'm going to tell you, we just took it day by day as opposed to trying to figure out. Because I'm going to tell you, if we had to figure it out today or what happened, I could never tell you. Because we would ride raggedy cars with pink door, blue hood, driving to work. And I'm just telling you, somebody said, this is what the owner of the school drives. Catching the bus, family member, I said, can you take me to the school because we got an ad getting ready to come on the radio tonight and I need to be able to catch those calls. She says, okay, call me when you get ready. Snow was up to here. We had, our 2 kids was little. I called her, I said, okay, I'm ready to go down there now. She said, I'm too tired, I don't feel like going. Me and my husband and the babies all bundled up, got out there and walked a mile to get to the bus stop, take 2 to 3 buses to get to the school, just so I can catch that phone. Caught that phone and just to try to get a new student in. We needed those students. So anyway, make a long story short, over 2 years, we had 2 students, then we had 15 students. By our 3rd year, we had 280 students in our school. Not only did we have 280 students in the school, I became the best teacher you ever want to know. I was shaking like a leaf the first time. As a matter of fact, even when I thought about a student, getting an attitude with me, and I thought about how I just wanted to say something, but then when I get in front of those students, I say, if you don't really want to stay here, you can, I couldn't let it get out. You can leave. Yeah. But then afterwards, I said, hey, listen, if it's not for you, get out. Because it got to that point where I could speak and I could feel good about what I was saying and not feel like I had to be knocked down. And our school went on to open the first school to ever open in Togo of West Africa. You would not have told me that I would be standing in front of 400 to 500 people speaking in Africa, where I had interpreters that were actually speaking for me, where I had to pinch myself. Is this me? Wow. You don't know where you're going. Yeah. And when I say you don't know where you're going, we never would have known. I never wanted to go to Africa. I'll be honest with you. I never had a clue what it was. God put me in Africa. I even missed the plane. But when I got there, we realized we had to open a school there. You could not leave without doing that because it was just so much love. So much love to the point where we felt like, we have to do something to give back. And I'm saying this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that no matter what you want in life, you don't know where you're going. Just be open to the possibilities. Be open to what God has to give you. You know, you might think you're on a path right now, but if something comes in front of you, an opportunity to speak up, to say something, to do something, don't pass it on to someone else. Because how many of you guys have passed on an opportunity to somebody else thinking that you weren't good enough to do it? That was me. Not anymore. If you ask me something, yeah, I can do it. How do you do it? You know, and I just want to say this. I'm just saying this to say that even with that, we went on to open. We have like 7 schools, but we're inside of 4 different charter schools, and then we have 4 schools in the metro area. This is our newest one, but we're in Ann Arbor, we're in Redford, we're in Detroit, and just to say, you would not have told me this. And even with this, I still leave my doors open for possibilities. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm doing another business even now. You know, and people say, Anna, how do you find the time to do the things that you do? I find the time because it's there. You have 24 hours in a day. There's no reason for us not to be successful in anything that we do. And I do the other business so that I can show myself that I can still reach new boundaries. I can reach new things. And God gave me the opportunity to open those horizons and to be able to not only to create a successful business for my family's family tree, where my children, my son, my daughter, all run schools. You know, we all have to leave something for the family, but my kids grew up in it. They didn't think they was going to want it. Matter of fact, they said, we don't want it. And when they went to college and they realized what life was like getting a job and getting laid off, it's like, can we go back to the school? Can we do that? Well, I'm just saying, just keep your eyes open. Keep your mind open. Never have your cup running over. And just know that with God, all things are possible. All things are possible. Thank you.
Wow.